Havinoviski from IRF, welcome. In your opinion, how is US experience in ITS systems relevant to the traffic challenges found in the Gulf region?
I think that they are very relevant. First of all, the U.S. has been doing it for a long time. The Gulf region is a lot younger in terms of developing traffic management and ITS systems, so you can learn from a lot of the mistakes that have been made in the U.S. as well as a lot of the good things that have happened. I think there's also a lot of exciting and unique things that are happening here, which are going to require a lot of new ideas that aren't necessarily implemented in the U.S.
And from your personal experience here at the World Meeting in Riyadh, we saw a number of sessions on ITS-related topics. So did any particular message or example of technological innovation strike you as particularly promising?
Well, I think there are a number of trends. I don't think there's one particular trend. I think there's a general trend. I think we're moving away from just looking at a trip as being in a vehicle. I think you're looking more as a trip being made by individuals. It could be in a car, it could be on a train or on a bus. I think the advent of a more advanced public transport solutions is changing what I think people's views of traveling are going to be in this region. And I think it's going to make things very exciting and very innovative in the future, especially with what's happening here in Riyadh.
Yes, well, you mentioned the need to look at individuals making trips instead of purely the vehicles, whether private or public transport. Is this already deployed, and if not, why not in this region, of course?
Well, I think first of all, in Riyadh, you've, as well as most other cities in this region, you've had the history of everybody having a car. Which is really no different than a lot of places in the U.S. It's just you haven't really had the alternatives. I think in 2009, when Dubai deployed the metro system, I think it introduced people to the idea that public transport could be attractive. I think Riyadh is really going out of its way to make its system very, very attractive. I know in Doha it's going the same way as well as Abu Dhabi. So I think there is the interest to try to reduce congestion, not by just telling people not to drive, but saying, you know what, people need to travel because economically it's very important, but let's look at some alternatives for you to get to where you're going, and try to make them as attractive as possible, make sure people don't have to walk for 2 kilometers in the heat during the summer, and I think there'll be a lot of great opportunities.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I mean, I just attended also the session where you were speaking on ITS.
Yes.
So how can the increasing generation and use of data improve the transport system's operations?
Well, I think that's one of the issues that there's been, I think, over the years here, is there really hasn't been that much data. I think you're seeing more data being put in really slowly. You're seeing some count stations. You're seeing some traffic sensors being put in for some of the limited freeway operation systems that have been implemented. There needs to be much more pervasive data collection. I see right now that the private sector is doing a lot of it right now, like Nokia and Google. There needs to be a way to tap into the data that's coming from vehicles, because one of the things it does do is it reduces the amount of investment a public agency has to make in putting sensors everywhere. At the same time, you need to have the traffic sensors for planning purposes, because it's the most accurate way of doing traffic counts. It's a way of assuring that you have control over the quality of the data. But you need to have data from a variety of different sources so that you can spread the reach of the information services that you're providing. So I think you need a little bit of everything. You need government investment, and you need to have, obviously, the continued investment and interest from the private sector.
It's very interesting. So Havinoviski from IRF, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.